Hi, this is Supali and welcome to my channel English Academic Facilitator. Today I'm going to talk about descriptive writing and how to write a successful descriptive piece using relevant techniques. The primary purpose of descriptive writing is to describe a person, place or thing in such a way that a picture is formed in the reader's mind. Here we need to capture the subject, the person, place or thing, paying close attention to the details by using all your 5 senses. So let's see how it goes. Now let's see what descriptive writing is. Descriptive writing is a literary device in which the writer uses details to paint a picture with his words in order to connect the reader with details by seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. A good descriptive writing is comprised of 5 elements: sensory images, figurative language, dominant impression, precise language, and proper organization. You need to try your best to engage the reader by using descriptive language techniques. Before you start writing a descriptive essay, do think about these things. In informative or factual description, you write obvious description in the way it is, but this is a complete contrast to that type of writing. Here you need to choose quality over quantity in order to paint a strong picture in reader's mind. Then the second tip is using surprising words. Especially you can have a kickstart with a surprising statement. Then you need to learn some sensory details. Of course, it should be in your diction. Next tip is making use of figurative language. This is the difference between factual and descriptive writing. In factual or informative texts, we describe things using multiple average adjectives. Instead, descriptive texts describe things choosing precise adjectives. You need to limit the verbs like am, is, are, was and were, and need to set a word limit as well. For example, if we use break in informative text, it's not specific. We need to use the specific, precise and accurate verb according to the intensity. You need to choose if it's shatter or fracture or smash. If it's walk for a factual text, you need to specify it what type of walk it is, whether it's hike or shuffle or stroll. But make sure you are not overusing the language and use multiple senses instead of using all. You need not to use all the senses in one descriptive essay. Next important technique you need to use is a sizzling start. Sizzling start is to capture the reader to read on. You can start at the action where you start the story, or you can use humor to make it more punchy. You can also use onomatopoeia, what we call sound effect, like tick-tock, tick-tock. Or a dialogue can be used to make the reader curious. You also can ask a question to engage the reader in the story. So you can use one of these techniques to have a sizzling start. Descriptive language is used to express feelings and emotions in order to create for the reader the same feelings you have in your mind. Instead of using vague general words, your sensory language should be concrete and sensory packed. Let's read this example. A current ran through the spine and my whole body became numb while part of my mind tried to process to regain composure. My brain commanded my heart to be calm. The word calm sounded impossibly beautiful, gloriously complicated. Avoid a smooth word, a word that can edge away from fear, gloss it over and make it shiny. And also, descriptive language is used to create pictures. Some trees throw out low branches to the water, making an impediment to progress. Nevertheless, no waves would come to ruffle this water, and no bulk of cloud veils the clarity of the blue sky that only scarred by the gliding flocks of birds flying gracefully in the eastern sky at the dusk. In both examples, you see how these vivid sentence structures differ from vague language. Let's see some examples for descriptive language. Instead of the general verb walk, we need to use a vivid verb to show exactly how he or she walks, whether it's a hike, shuffle, stroll, or march. If you need to express somebody's crying, you need to choose the accurate verb to show how she or he cries, whether it's lament, sob, weep, or moan. In the same way, for the general adjective small, we need to specify if it's minute, scanty, meager, or petite, according to its amount. Adverbs add detail to verbs by telling how something happened, not just what happened. For example, angrily and slowly are vague adverbs. You need to choose the correct one according to the intensity of the action related to the adverb. You can use senses, sight, sound, touch, taste, or smell to recreate as vividly as possible. Visual imagery engages the sense of sight, and gustatory taste, tactile touch, auditory hearing, olfactory smell, and kinesthetic feeling of movement. If you want to describe the environment of the beach, you can see the waves, the sand, and seagulls. You hear the waves and the wind and the cry of the birds, and you smell and sometimes you taste the salt. So you can see these 4 senses in one description. What is figurative language? It is descriptive words, phrases, and sentences used to convey a message that means something without directly saying it. Its creative wording is used to build imagery to deepen the understanding of the reader and help provide power to words by using different emotional, visual, and sensory connections. It is used to compare 2 unlike ideas to increase the understanding of one. It also influences the reader, making the description easier to visualize. Similes, metaphors, personification, onomatopoeia, symbols, alliteration, assonance are commonly used figurative language. Simile is when you liken or compare something to something different. Here we use as or like. Watching that movie was like watching grass grow. It shows how slow it is. Metaphor is saying something is something else completely different. Not saying it is like something completely different, but something is something else completely different. For example, she is drowning in a sea of grief. So here it is compared to the sea directly. Personification is giving human qualities to things. The sun played hide and seek with the clouds. So, by using the action verb played, sun is personified. Onomatopoeia is also a sound device where the words sound like their meaning or mimic sounds. For example, croak, caw, buzz, whir, swish, hum, quack, meow, and tweet are sounds of animals and other creatures. Symbolic objects suggest ideas or emotions some objects are associated with. For example, in Western society, black is often associated with evil or death, and white is associated with purity and weddings. So they are the symbols. The main reason to use alliteration and assonance in descriptive writing is that it sounds pleasing. It's a means to get the attention of readers or listeners. It's also a clear way to signify that the alliterative words are linked together thematically. Alliteration is using the same initial sound for a string of words like we are up wide-eyed and wondering while we wait for others. So the letter or the consonant W is repeated in so many places. Assonance is where vowel sounds are repeated. Tried with all my might to fly that kite. So here the vowel sound I is repeated. Try, my, fly, and kite. As I told you earlier, use of precise language is very important in descriptive writing. General adjectives, nouns, and passive verbs do not have a place in good descriptive writing. We have to use specific adjectives and nouns and strong action verbs to give life to the picture you are painting in the reader's mind. You can organize a descriptive essay as the story progresses with time, or how events occur in different locations, or according to the order of importance of the events. You have to have a good imaginative power to picture characters, places, and things. Having visualized them, you need to find the wordings to make them real to your readers. So you need to have a powerful, dynamic set of words to build a new world. Next thing you need to do is character development. You can use first person or third person to describe how the main character views other people and experience moments. Now let's have a look at this descriptive piece of writing I have written to express my thoughts and feelings when I saw a long lost friend who is dying of a cancer. My heart stopped. A great wave of lurching dizziness passed over me. For a moment, I was recollecting the gingery, robust, youthful body which featured the cover page of a local youth magazine a few years back, which has transfigured to a withered rose ready to depart from its stem. It appeared as a science fiction story in which radiation metamorphoses people into weird creatures. He had lost his color as the cancerous cells in his body have swallowed its vitality until the veins ran dry. Here I started it with a surprise, that is, my heart stopped. So that's a sizzling start. Then I used vivid verbs such as recollecting, featured, transfigured, depart, appeared, and swallowed. None of them are vague verbs or general verbs. And then I used precise adjectives to describe some nouns. For example, to describe the dizziness, I used lurching. And then to describe his body before the cancer ate him away, I used gingery, robust, and youthful. And for his disfigured body, I used weird. And at last, for the cells, cancerous. I used a simile for his transfiguration as a science fiction story. And then a metaphor, withered rose, is used to describe his transformation from a beautiful figure to a decaying body. Then multiple senses are used at first. Kinesthetic imagery is used to show the feeling of movement. A great wave of lurching dizziness passed over me. And then gingery, robust, youthful body is a visual imagery. Personification is used at the end by using an active verb, swallowed, for cancerous cells. Cancerous cells in his body have swallowed its vitality until the veins ran dry. So, in this descriptive writing, I have used rich descriptive language throughout by using vivid verbs, precise adjectives, similes, metaphors, multiple senses, and personification. Now let's say this description of a place I have written by using personification, vivid verbs, and precise adjectives. After a long period of intolerable heat, nature has come into her again. Little by little, her stealthy, insidious way has encroached upon me with a sometime hindering breeze that swells into little tornado, trying to carry away the sheets of my ceiling that are staring at the river bed. The woods edged the other side of the river, elated and crowded, dark and uncontrolled, to the borders of the river. Tall bamboo plants lean close to one another. Their branches intermingle in a strange embrace, making a vault like an archway. And there are other trees unrecognizable, have propelled themselves out of the quiet earth. Indeed, I am not tired of watching the same piece of nature over and over again, since I am engrossed with its beauty, and it helps calm my literally exhausted mind and soul. Here, personification is used abundantly to give life, to enhance the beauty of this landscape. An active verb, come, and the possessive pronoun her personify nature. In the same way, active verbs swell and carry are used for the breeze, and lean, intermingle, and propelled are used for trees to give life to the place. Then a set of precise adjectives such as intolerable, stealthy, insidious, hindering, elated and crowded, exhausted are used, while vivid verbs like encroached, swells, staring, edged, lean, intermingle, propelled, and engrossed are used to beautify the language. Hope you have an idea about the art of descriptive writing. Read more to widen your descriptive language. If this lesson is helpful, please subscribe, like, and share this video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.